Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
We give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Mela Tunay. In tonight's game plan, we'll talk with the weightlifting queen Hidilyn Diaz and her golden lift that secured the country's first ever Olympic gold medal, as well as what's next for her legendary career.
We'll break down Greg Slaughter's Northport debut, CJ Perez, and Junmar Fajardo's adjustments with San Miguel, and between Stanley Pringle and Christian Standhardinger, who is the next face of Barangay Ginebra. And we'll find out what's the secret behind the flawless records of Creamline and Choco Mucho in the PVL. Buckle up, sports fans! Let's get in the game! Hello everybody. Well, last night, the entire nation tuned in to watch history unfold as the Philippines captured its very first Olympic gold medal since joining the Games almost 100 years ago. From makeshift barbells in her backyard to becoming the undisputed queen of weightlifting, Hidilyn Diaz once again lifted the nation on her back with a new Olympic record and a legacy that will go down in history books as the first Philippine Olympian to win a gold medal. Our Olympics correspondent Gretchen Ho sat down with Hidilyn Diaz herself in a special exclusive interview after her historic golden lift.
This is the morning right after that historic stint, fresh from her Olympic gold finish. We got our first Philippine Olympic champion with us, Hidilyn Diaz. Congratulations! Unang-una, nag-sink in na ba sa'yo na nanalo ka ng gold? You made history, you broke records last night, and you now have that gold medal with you.
Di pa rin ako makapaniwala. Actually, madaling araw na ako natulog kanina, and siguro dahil sa... Di pa rin ako makapaniwala hanggang ngayon, kahit hawak-hawak ko yung medal, pero gusto kong magpasalamat kay God. Tapos, unbelievable na may Olympic record ako. Wow!
127 kilograms, clean and jerk. But before that, yung 98, diba, nag-ano na kayo nun eh. Nagdo-duel na kayo sa snatch eh. Na-break din yung record doon. Never mo pa nabuhat yung 127 kilograms. Nung pumunta kayo dun sa part na yon, ano yung nasa isip mo nun? Dahil natakot ka ba? Or talagang alam mo na buong-buo yung loob mong gagawin mo yun?
Sa totoo lang, wala akong iniisip. Iniisip ko lang yung technique ko, yung one motion, then nabigla na lang ako na natayo ko, then sabi ko, sige, tuloy na to. Tapos na-hold ko siya, then wow. Parang siguro, yun yung moment na surprise sa akin ni God. Yung time na yun na, alam mo yung ginawa ko yung best ko, sinurrender ko sa Kanya yung lahat. Yung outcome, yung result ng competition.
Mental toughness, Hidilyn, I think yung isa sa mga napansin ko sa'yo this time around, buong-buo yung loob mo eh. Ano yung nagbago sa'yo through the years? 4 na Olympics, 16 years of your life to get to this point. Anong nagbago sa'yo from the time na nagsimula ka hanggang sa ngayon nanalo ka ng gold?
Siguro, ang nagbago sa akin, noong 2016, although may mga tao na behind me, konting tao, this time, I have people behind me. Then, there are the private sponsor helping me. Then, later on, nagtumulong na ang government. And, siguro, na-realize ko lang din na after Olympics, hindi ko pala kaya mag-isa. Kasi syempre, tumatanda na ako, 30 years old, nararamdaman ko na yung sakit. Then, yung ranking ko, 9th over 9 na, parang sabi ko, paano na to? Pero good thing, na-sustain and maintain ko. And siguro nagbago sa akin, my team behind me, and yung belief kay God, mas naniniwala ako kay God, mas naniniwala ako sa sarili ko. And mas thankful ako.
what is up next for Hidilyn?
Up next for me is maglalaro ako sa World Championship. Then magsisi games ako kasi nagpangako na ako magsisi games ako, then Asian Games. Then tuloy-tuloy pa rin kung kaya pa, tuloy-tuloy kasi ayokong ibaba ang standard ng Philippine weightlifting. Gusto ko yung susunod sa akin magaling at alam mo yun, tuloy-tuloy ang galing ng mga weightlifters.
Hindi siya humihindi sa 5th
Ready pa siya sa kasunod.
Kagabi, nung naka-ere kami, yun din ang tinatanong ko kila Gretchen tsaka kila Pao eh.
May isa pa.
Pero hindi siya, di ba? There's a slight opening. Although when you think about it, Mela, that's 16 years of competing sa Olympics. Isipin mo yan, swerte na makaisa ka. Okay na yung makadalawa kung veterano ka, pero nakakaapat.
Pero siya 4 and counting.
Nakadali pa, naka-gold pa. Where were you? What were you doing? How? I know you were live tweeting at the time. Sige nga, kwento mo.
Marami, syempre marami akong kasabay na nagla-live tweet. Pero I was at home having dinner. And syempre, lahat nakatutok doon sa laban na yun ni Hidilyn Diaz. And then, wala, nagtalunan lang kami sa bahay. Kasi syempre, I feel I'm not alone. Na parang, totoo nga yung sinasabi nila na buong nation binuha talaga ni Hidilyn last night.
Tama. It was really a communal experience that everybody felt na parang kami, nandito kami. So we were with everyone here sa studios and you could hear all the applause all throughout the compound. So we were very, very happy. Naiyak ka ba?
Hindi ako naiyak, more
Hindi ka
like
iyakin?
excitement. Iyakin ako talaga, pero kagabi, grabe yung excitement ko. Pero
Nanaig
paluhan
yung
na ako
excitement,
nung narinig ko yung national anthem natin.
Correct, syempre. Ako yun, syempre, isa sa mga paboritong moment natin yan, yung national anthem. But as you watch her right now lift, my favorite moment is yung halfway down, yung pabagsak na yung barbell. When she lifted it and then she was able to get her chest out, alam na niya at that moment. At you see, kita mo yung moment na yun na umiiyak na siya, hindi pa niya binabagsak. Kaya yun yung paborito kong moment na that split second in between that lift, as you saw, and then the drop. I don't know if that's a term. Forgive me.
I was actually saying last night, sabi ko, paano mabubuhat yung ganong kabigat? Parang naiiyak ka na. Kasi di ba sometimes pag naiiyak ka na, nanghihina ka na. Pero it was really all-out hard work and passion for Hidilyn last night. And parang hindi lang Pilipinas yung sinet niya yung standards, kundi yung buong Olympic, buong weightlifting in general because she set a new record in the Olympics.
At saka quick lang, ito magandang inspirasyon dun sa mga ibang atleta natin who are still about to complete. I believe Elrin Ando is, as we speak, competing. So yung magiging epekto niya na, you know, I hope it would really push our athletes. We got some boxers, we got some swimmers still, and golfers competing. Feeling ko makakaisa pa tayo.
For sure, marami
pa. Ito, predict ko yung gold na yan eh. So, feeling ko makakaisa pa tayo.
Ayan. Marami pa. And of course, in other Olympic news, Olympic judoka Kiyomi Watanabe bowed out of the judo tournament in the round of 32 to Spain's Cristina Cabana Perez. The 24-year-old Watanabe was the 14th Filipino to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics and served as one of the country's flag bearers in her first Olympic Games.
And this just in from the Olympics, swimmer Luke Gebbie clocked a new Philippine record in the men's 100-meter freestyle event. Ito na yung sinasabi ko, Mele. Gebbie finished 5th with a 49.64 in Heat 5, but to advance to the semis, finishing 36th overall. The 24-year-old still has one more chance for a medal as he competes in the 50-meter freestyle. That's on July 30. Now, over the women's 200-meter butterfly event, Remedy Rule successfully advances to the semifinals, finishing 6th in Heat 3. Rule will compete in the semis tomorrow morning at 9:57 a.m. And when we return, we'll talk about Greg Slaughter's Northport debut, CJ Perez and June Mar Fajardo's adjustments with San Miguel, and between Stanley Pringle and Christian Stan Hardinger, who is the next face of Barangay Ginebra. Keep it here. You're watching The Game. watching the game alongside Melatunay, I'm Boom Gonzalez. Greg Zilla, Greg Slaughter, is finally back in the PBA after making his debut with the Northport Batang Pier. Having missed the PBA for 2 years, Slaughter registered a monster double-double with 23 points and 17 rebounds, but his comeback was spoiled by a game-winning jumper of the Spider-Man. Walang kakupas-kupas, San Miguel's REBOUNDS Santos. And here to help us discuss Greg Zilla's Northport debut and some more PBA stars is PBA Rush analyst, our good buddy, si Idol, Jet Manuel. Hello, Jet.
Hello. What's up,
Hi,
guys?
Jet.
Leave it nila.
Okay, numbers aside, 23 and 17, what were your first impressions on the comeback of Greg Slaughter in general?
Okay, in general, I was really happy. First of all, Greg's a friend of mine. He's one of my closer teammates when I was playing in Ginebra. So watching him come back, watching him, after all the off-court buzz and drama, I was really excited to see it, because I always knew that Greg could play. Like, he was always one of the top players in the league for me. It was just how effective would he be coming back from, everything off the court. And when I saw him play, when I saw him, touch the ball for the first time, the moves he was doing, the way he was moving on the court, he's in shape. He wasn't huffing and puffing. He was in shape. He looked good. He added a lot of moves in his bag. He was shooting threes. He was bringing the ball down off the rebound. He did have some mistakes. I mean, it's understandable. It's basketball, and of course, he just came back. But the way he played, I was just really impressed with everything.
Well, Jet, we talked about Greg Slaughter, pero meron pa tayong Robert Bolick. So for you, how little is this Northport duo?
Oh, I mean, if you want to look at a typical point guard big man duo that can dominate the league, I mean, we're gonna have to look at Bolick and Greg. I think Bolick has already established himself as a top point guard caliber player in the PBA at this young of his career. Going up against San Miguel that night and going up against a lot of star point guards, I think he's already shown that he can keep up. I mean, I can't say that he's better than. I'm not going to name names of top point guards in the league right now, but he's definitely up there. He just needs to get more experience, get more maturity. But them as a duo is very lethal. I think they're going to be a team to watch out for. Their record doesn't reflect the amount of talent that they have. I think they're still learning to work around each other, especially Greg and Robert. And if they can get that chemistry going, if they can get the timing and all the little things down, I think we're in for an exciting season watching both of them play together.
Jet, you're supposed to be here to name names. Why are you not naming names? Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Spoiling, though, the debut of Greg Zilla is REBOUNDS Santos, who came out clutch. Talk about what happened there in that game to spoil the debut of Greg.
Okay, so I covered the game. I was in the venue. So during that last play, I think it's titled, it was the game winner of RWIN. I was talking with my partner, I think it was Charlie Cuna. And then we were talking about, for some reason, San Miguel always finds a way to win. I mean, that's just the type of team they are. I mean, the vets they have, the championships under their belt, and the players that are playing on the floor at that time. You have REBOUNDS Santos, you have Cabagnot, you have, I think CJ was off the floor, it was Lassiter. The experience that they had, parang you can see the composure coming off that last play. And for some reason in that game, REBOUNDS Santos, throughout his career actually, always has the knack of hitting those kinds of shots. So in that play, it wasn't a surprise to us na for some reason the ball ended up in his hands and he was wide open for a jump shot. So, the moment he raised up, I was like, oh, that's money. That's what REBOUNDS does. That's what he's paid to do. That's what he's been doing his whole career. So that definitely spoiled the big comeback of Greg. But you kind of look back and see that that's the disparity between both teams. It's what you expect from a San Miguel team that are experienced championship caliber team, and that shot just reflected that. So I think it's just too early in the season to see other things and to reflect the what the end of the season is gonna look like. But that's just San Miguel for you.
Well, Jet, you mentioned a lot of good things about San Miguel. No? So pag-usapan din natin itong mga San Miguel stars natin. How do you think CJ Perez and Junmar Fajardo are adjusting so far?
They're playing great. I was really surprised with how CJ has already, I think, integrated himself in the offense. I think Coach Leo and the coaching staff of San Miguel have done a great job to put him in the position where he can succeed the most. He's averaging, I mean, see on our screens, 18.6 rebounds and 2 steals. So his energy off the bench, I think, is more valuable than him starting. I think the coaching staff, like I said, did a great job in finding that role for him. But if you go down to Junmar naman, and you saw his numbers, they're all, I think that was 9 points and 7 rebounds. I mean, come on, let's be realistic. When have we seen Junmar average those low of numbers? I think even in his rookie year. So he's still finding his way back. He came off a devastating injury. But from what I see, they're still limiting his minutes. But if Junmar gets rolling, this San Miguel team is going to be pretty tough to stop, right? I mean, to say the least, with the pieces that they have. So both of them together, I think Junmar's always going to be the anchor. He's always going to be there in the starting 5 to finish the game. I think CJ is that spark of youth now that San Miguel has off the bench, that can score at will. If you want to rest the players, you want to give some time off to your normal stars who are a little bit older, not saying old, a little bit older. You have CJ Perez now, and they can be, like to answer, they can be the most dangerous duo in the PBA.
Well, it's just good to see Junmar playing. Let's put things in perspective. Let's start there, and as he rounds up into shape, well, bigger things, literally and figuratively, are expected from him. Okay, name names, Jet.
Okay, I'm gonna name names.
And then, pagdating sa Ginebra, who do you think is the next face of Barangay Ginebra? Over the years, there have been so many faces of Barangay Ginebra. Who's the next one in your opinion?
The next one, I mean, fine, obviously you're gonna have to see Christian Sanhardinger. You're gonna have to see, he's a new face now. You're gonna see him. You're gonna have to always consider him. You have Pringle, of course, who I feel is the best player right now for the team individually. I mean, he has been for a while in the PBA. That's what I believe. So I think both these guys are actually, pretty good contenders. But overall, look, I played under Coach Tim. I know the team. I know the culture. I can't say there's gonna be a singular face, and that's not a safe answer. That's just the reality of it. Coach Tim always emphasizes, even the players actually always emphasize their culture on the floor. Na it's not always gonna be this guy who we're going to who's gonna be the star. They have a system in place. They have players who can fit in the system. The record that they have doesn't really reflect how good of a team they are. I think they're getting the new guys, especially Christian, getting him oiled up in their system. But the face will be the system. I mean, the face will be Ginebra's system, Coach Tim Cohen's system, and then all the players together. You're gonna see stars shine in different games individually, and I think that's just what we expect from Barangay Ginebra.
Okay, Mela, before we let Jet go, I wanted to ask your opinion about the chemistry between C-Stand and Pringle. What are you seeing so far, and what are the projections for this duo?
Okay, so both of them, I don't think they're gonna dominate the league per se. I think, like I mentioned a while ago, it's not always gonna be a Stanley Pringle, Christian Sanhardinger pick and roll from the top. I think it's more of a 5-player passing, moving the ball around kind of thing. So, but with those two pieces, realistically speaking, these guys are two of the best in the league in their respective positions. Yes, Stanley for me, like I said, is the best point guard right now individually. Christian has been dominating the league for years. So both of them, I think what they need to focus right now on is to fit in the system of Ginebra. It's not gonna adjust around them. They have to fit in right now. I think that's what they're focusing on, trying to get their rhythm in. So that's what I expect from them.
Okay, long ways to go. There's a lot to still look out for, and I'm sure we'll be having you again on the show here on The Game. Thank you very much, Jet.
Guys.
And thank you. And after the break, we'll find out what's the secret behind the flawless records of Creamline and Choco Mucho in the Premier Volleyball League. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. I'm Boom Gonzalez. Now, after Choco Mucho's win over Signal earlier in the PVL, the Flying Titans still continue to be unscathed with sister team Creamline. The Hot Pink Squad and the Purple Army currently occupy the top 2 spots in the Premier Volleyball League. Meanwhile, the Perlas Spikers, who have just joined the competition this week following safety protocols, are still finding their way to their first win at the bottom of the rankings. To give us an in-depth analysis on why Choco Mucho and Creamline remain undefeated, bakit pa kami maghahanap ng iba pa, my partner and PVL analyst, Mela Tunay, the queen of 5 sets. Okay, Mela.
Nabansagan na talaga.
Di ba pinag-uusapan yung conditioning? Ikaw mismo, you said that during the games, and a lot of our our volleyball analysts and experts are saying these two teams are well-conditioned. Is that a big part of their success, or are we putting too much on that?
I think it's really one of the biggest factors kasi especially when they asked me before kung sino ba yung mga predictions ko sa magiging top 4 or sino yung magiging maganda yung lalaro this coming PVL. Because right now we have one professional league and it's very hard to say, pero ang laging sinasagot is kung sino yung mas condition over the long break that these teams had. So right now, nagpapakita talaga ng magandang program and conditioning are Creamline and Choco Mucho. So it's really that Ribisco culture and program when it comes to their conditioning. Kasi makikita mo like in the games, sabi ko nga sa isang tweet, none among the players are showing any form of rust or kumbaga pagkatenga, di ba, sa pandemic. So lahat talaga sila, even when they pull out people from the bench, they're really delivering. So it really says a lot about their conditioning.
Yun din sinabi ko kagabi, parang kahit sino bunutin ng mga coach ngayon, ano? Okay, but devil's advocate lang, Mela, are these two teams also benefiting from a good schedule? Hindi pa nagkakabanggaan yung dalawang team, hindi pa nagkakabanggaan with Cherry Tigo, who just bounced back from their loss also.
Well, actually, ngayon, hindi na ako naniniwala doon.
Okay.
Dati pwede ko siya consider. But right now, like even the stronger teams, may talo na si Cherry Tigo and it came from, a lower-seeded team. And then si Creamline naman was also forced to a 5-setter. So I don't think na the schedules have anything to do with it. I mean, most of them naman talaga, except for Perlas, di ba na ngayon naghahabol ng schedules, araw-araw sila. Pero the rest naman, they have games every day. And siguro in this league, what's another thing that we can highlight is that wala nang mas malakas over the other, especially after Bali Pure giving back-to-back upsets to, stronger seeded teams. So.
How is Choco Mucho doing what they're doing right now? And I'm not questioning it, but I want you to explain to me, 1 set pa lang ang nadadrop nila sa kanilang 4 na panalo. Tapos, the last 3 games, they've had 7 errors, 18 errors, and I think today they had 11, if I'm not mistaken. Ang gaganda ng mga numero nila. And yet, nobody dominating in terms of scoring. There's nobody in the top 10. I think it's just Kat who's at number 10.
Well, that says a lot about Dina Wong kasi she's really fairly distributing all her sets to everybody. Kung makikita natin yung stat sheets talaga, sometimes dikit-dikit lang yung scores except, kapag kailangan niya mamorsyento. That's why si Kat madalas, in some games, siya yung medyo malayo yung disparity compared sa scoring. Pero I think the formula for Choco Mucho is what I saw before sa Ateneo na parang perfect yung libero nila, magaling yung setter nila, and then meron silang, kung tinatawag natin sa volleyball, ay panapos, na parang high percentage attacker, di ba? Yeah, and kumbaga, their lineup kasi are very efficient. Kumbaga, yung mga attempts nila, they convert it easily into points. And from all cylinders, like their middles are very effective as well as their opposite and their open hitters. So, for me, it's a complete package for this team.
Napaka-exciting siguro ng Choco Mucho at saka Creamline matchup, ano? Kasi yung sinasabi mo, gano'n din yun. Galing nung libero din ng Creamline, galing din ng setter, may panapos sila, di ba? So maganda yung matchup na yan. But let's talk about Perlas. We gotta give time to Perlas. They just came back this week. What have you seen so far? They're 0-2. Naging advantage ba? I mean, it's hard to say that they were able to scout the teams. Pero ngayon, conditioning will be a problem. They have 5 games in 8 days, dalawang back-to-back, Mela.
Yeah, for sure. Conditioning will be a hindrance for them, I think, kasi even prior to them entering the bubble league, nagkaroon na sila ng struggles sa kanilang bubble training, di ba? So it happened again in the league. So kumbaga yung katawan nila, your mental state nila, as much as they want to stay positive, di ba? May epekto pa rin kasi talaga yun eh. Tapos, parang they were off to a bad start because of that loss. And in those games, ang nakikita ko na talagang bright spot for Perlas ay si Cherry Nuna. He's been very consistent, as well as Tang Ponce. Pero one of their problems is yung isa nilang outside hitter. I think they're still in the process of finding the right mix for their team. And I think if you're already in the league, that's something na, kumbaga, not beneficial for you if you're just doing it right now, na nasa liga na tayo. So, it also draws back to their struggles prior the league kasi nga maraming pinagdaanan yung team nila, as we know. So, I think that also affected their preparation. Kumbaga, ngayon nila hinaharap yun.
Yung pagbalasa ba ng bench ni Coach Ray, napansin mo, lalo na nung second game, ang dami niyang ginamit. Is that because of the schedule, you think? Or matchups? Or naghahanap lang siya ng kombinasyon?
I think the last one, naghahanap lang talaga. Kasi kapag ka nag-enjoy ka na ng players dyan at effective na, hindi naman na yun aalisin regardless kung sino man yung ka-matchup mo sa kabila, kung mas malaki ba yung blocker mo na tinapat sa'yo or whatever. I think it's really who works better or who works in general for Perlas. But then for now, I think hindi pa nila nakukuha yan.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting pa the games to come, Mela, right? So there are more games and they should continue watching us.
Yes, and speaking of watching, you can catch the best of Philippine volleyball together, stronger, and greater in the 2021 Premier Volleyball League Open Conference, live on One Sports and One Sports Plus with streaming on Signal Play. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mela Tunay.
And don't forget to catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Boom Gonzalez. Thanks for watching. This has been The Game.